Hello, I am Young Wolfo, and this video is a sequel to my tutorial on how to build a hidden piston hatch in the ground. I've had many requests to do a more detailed tutorial, so here it is. So this is my main world. Over there we have my mountain fortress, my railway bridge, my dock, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a hidden piston staircase that leads to my little underwater layer over there. So I've lined up a hole about here, and this is where I'm going to build the hatch. So to begin with, to build your own hatch, you dig out a similar hole, 4x4, and then you tunnel it down 3 squares, or 3 blocks down to here. And to the left and to the right, you dig out an extra set of squares. So you've got this rough shape. And what we're going to do is place the pistons along here, facing outward, and the same on the other side. And then we do another row of pistons facing upwards along here, and the same thing on the other side. There. So that's the beginning. That's how you start building the hatch. I'm just going to leave it like this for now, and I will return to you once I've dug out the area underneath here, so I can tell you how to build the circuit that controls these. Right, that's me dug out a bit underneath these pistons here. So what I've done is now, instead of having 8 blocks under here, I've got 6 under the first 3 sets of pistons on each side, and then for the last 2 pistons I've replaced this block with stairs leading all the way down. And the reason I've done that is if you don't do that, you end up banging your head off the wall here, and it just didn't work out very well. So we go down here. I've tunnelled out plenty of space behind these pistons, see 4 blocks behind them, and I've done the same on the other side. I'm not worrying too much about over here. I'll tunnel this out when I'm ready for that. It helps to think of this as 2 entirely separate circuits. So first of all, you've got the circuit that controls the pistons on the sides, and then an entirely independent circuit controlling the stairs. So what we've got down here, it doesn't matter too much how you do the wiring underneath here, but the important part is you have 6 redstone torches underneath the 6 blocks, and they're what will control these pistons when they're pushed out into the middle. Now the reason I have the redstone repeaters here is that when power heads into a redstone repeater, it will pass through in one direction into whichever block is facing. It will power that block. So whenever I'm going to line it up like this. So now when I supply power to this redstone wiring here, those 3 torches turn off. I remove the power, and they turn on again. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Got the redstone repeaters all facing into the blocks. Put some wiring there and there, power them, and voila, they all turn off. So now we just need to link the wiring. So let's see the best way to do that. Which side? Let's do it on this side. So we come down here, along there, remove that. So now when I plug down a redstone torch here, they should all turn off. Yes, it's exactly what I was looking for. Okay, so that's the first part of this circuit done. Now the next thing I need to do is build a platform to get up to there. So I'm going to build a floor pretty much level with these blocks, only over here. So I'll come back once I've done that. Okay, so I've now built a little staircase that goes up along the side here. And that leads into these blocks here, which are right next to the pistons. So what we need to do is, I'll just use these. Just going to tunnel up here and put redstone torches, see, all the way along. Oops. And that will have powered that set. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here if I can. There, and there. So now we should have fully set extended pistons except for these 2 in the end. That's fine, I'm going to deal with them later. So now I'm just going to quickly supply power to all of these. So lead the circuit up these stairs and along, and then we're going to use redstone repeaters to lead into the blocks which have the redstone on them up there, and lead the wiring into those, so that's fine. So now when I power it, those should turn off as well, and do the same thing on the other side. Now I try to keep it symmetrical as possible. The reason for that is it makes timing everything much easier if everything is basically the same. And then up here and along. Actually, I don't need that. I only need to go 3 along. Well, no, I do. One more. There. So now, when I supply power, it should all retract. Except for those last two. How's that? Right. What's happening there is the signal isn't reaching all the way. It's dying before it reaches this block. So the way to deal with that is to add in a redstone repeater, which carries the signal farther. So we'll just stick one in here. That makes it work, yeah. And to keep the timing correct, we'll do the same thing on the other side. So, yeah, they all seem to be retracted properly. That's great. So, when we take away power, it's extended. When we add power, they all retract. Very nice. So that is the first circuit almost finished. Now the last part we've got to do is deal with these two pistons here, which as you can see are still down. And the reason is we need to have a redstone torch there and one there. And that's what I use to power these two. Now to be able to control these, I'm going to have to get in next to them. So let's see. I'll dig out a little hole. Just help me find it. I'll steal all this up afterwards. So it's going to be there. Okay. A little bit of OCD as well, which means I like using these smooth stone blocks. Okay, I'm going to go along there and dig out till I find it. So up here, dig along. The style of Yogcast, diggy diggy hole. There we go. So where would it be? Just keep digging till I find the right spot. There we are, found it. Okay. So I'll need a wee floor here. Oops. Not so good. Okay, great. So I need to lead a redstone signal into there, and I'm going to do that from behind on both of them. Which means I'm going to have to slightly change the way I've got this wired up. That's not a problem. Fill that in there and there. So I'm going to have, take these out, some blocks there. And I'm going to go behind them, dig out a little tunnel. So all this is directly behind those two redstone torches. That doesn't matter. I'll go one block farther. Don't want to affect my staircase later on. I'm just building this little area as an access. Found it's always good when you're building anything with redstone wiring to allow yourself a little walkway to get in and repair it later. You don't do that, it gets really messy trying to fix mistakes or do repairs if a creeper blows up part of it. Okay, so it's fine. That's the side of the stairs. They'll be sealed off after I finish this anyway. That's great. Now dig out similar tunnel on the other side. There we are. I'm just going to link up to these bits to the side. Let's see. Just take all this out so it's easy to see what's going on. Right. And tunnel along here, here, here. There. Great. Just a little bit of light. So what I've got now is a link between all these circuits. I'm just going to tidy it up a little. Again, I like to keep things symmetrical. It makes it easier to understand. There we have it. So, got a little tunnel going along. Take that out as well. Don't need that. So there we go. Now what we need to do is, because these two blocks are next to each other, we need to use redstone repeaters. If you try to send signal into them that way, the wiring just goes across. So you take two redstone repeaters, put them next to each other, and then that's how you do it. And now we'll make the signal come along here. We'll no doubt need to boost this. So I'll link it into this via a repeater, just to make sure the signal makes goes the distance. I'll do the same thing on the other side. So come along here and link it into the circuit with a redstone repeater. So now, hopefully, when I power it, solve this. I saw a bit of redstone there. I think I may have taken out something I shouldn't have. Oh well, we'll find out in a moment. So I place this down, and whoa, they're all off. But you'll notice the pistons in the middle are still here. Now the reason for that is pistons can only suck in another piston when it is retracted. When it's extended, it cannot be moved. So these pistons were still extracted when those ones retracted. So that means that I need to make sure that these ones are done first. So I need to design it so that these, hang on, this is the thinky part. I will return once I figure this out. There. All I need to do is make sure that these are the first to extend or power on. So I'll go up here and I'm going to add a delay into each of these repeaters. So we'll try a 1 tick delay first on each of them, and we'll see how that works. So I'm right clicking each repeater just one time to add in that delay. So hopefully that means that these will have a slight delay in them, giving these time to retract. So let's see. So extend it all, retract, and that works like a charm, except for there, because there is a delay on there as well. So that tells me that we need more delay upstairs. Keep that off. I'm now going to move from a 1 tick delay to a 2 tick delay. Dum 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 dum. On the other side. Dum 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 dum. There we go. So let's test that out. Okay. Nope, not enough. Okay. So we need to move it to a 3 tick delay. So this is the best we can do. There we go. Let's see what happens. And they all retract properly. So that's great. I hope you understand how I've done the circuit so far. Trying to show off the wiring as much as I can. Trying to explain as I go, so I don't lose anyone. It's really not that complicated. You can pretty much copy what I've done here exactly, and it should work for you. So that is the first circuit complete. Next, I am going to tunnel out some space here and build the circuit that controls the stairs. And I build that entirely separately, and then that means all I have to do is link the two circuits together and get the timing right, and it should work. So I'll return once I've tunneled out this wall and made enough space for my stair rig. Right, I've just noticed that I'm rapidly approaching the 15-minute limit on YouTube videos, and I've not yet earned the ability to go longer than that, so I'm going to leave off for now and finish this off in the second video. See you there.